Stand by. The program will begin soon. I don't know why I'm talking about this. During World War II, we sent 90 million pounds of spam just to the Russians alone. I mean, we sent it all over the world. Our troops, especially in the Pacific Theater, ate it. That was basically what they ate all the time. 90 million pounds to the Russians. Apparently in like the 50s, Nikita Khrushchev said, you know, if they hadn't sent us all this spam, they might not have been able to feed their troops during World War II. So a little weird canned kind of ham pork product, canned meat, may have won World War II. And the Fed is trending on X. And I wasn't sure why, and I'm still not 100% sure why, although part of it is because of this building that they're renovating. They're supposed to be renovating one of the buildings at the Fed, right? And the other day, Donald Trump came out there with Jerome Powell, and they're talking about how the renovation of the building was kind of a little bit over budget, okay? First of all, listen, the numbers on this are crazy. They wanted $2.something billion to renovate a building at the Fed. $2.1 billion. Well, this is $2.5 billion, but they're over budget by over $1 billion for one building. They're over budget over $1 billion for one building. $1 billion friggin' dollars for one building. This isn't even for building a new building. It's for renovating a building. What the actual F are they doing? If after a night of filling your rectum with vodka from a turkey baster, the cops find you changing a flat in the cereal aisle of a Piggly Wiggly and ask how much you've had to drink, and you say, nothing, are you lying? Well, no. Now, if they had been asking, have you been injecting? You'd have to say yes, but they said, have you been drinking? Well, no, absolutely. Yeah, Lord Stanhope, absolutely not. In fact, you all can try to answer these questions. Stand by. The program will begin soon. A WNBA game got stopped in the middle of the game because one of the players lost their wig while they're playing, and they had to run off. And then some fan made fun of the player, and they had to run. And they kicked the fan out for making fun of a player losing the weave. Not the weave, it was a wig. Losing their wig. They had to have a timeout for the wig, a wig emergency. Which I'm like, why the F are you wearing a wig while you're playing basketball? But then yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, a game had to be stopped briefly because someone threw a big old green dildo on the floor. Someone threw a dildo out on the floor, out of the court. They had to stop the game. I don't know if they caught the person who sent the dildo, but the green dildo was on the court, and a good large number of the players had no idea what to do with something of that shape, but that's okay. It happened, and then someone made this t-shirt or this meme, pay us what you owe us, which has a dildo on it. So that was... Hey, you know what the really good interrupt violence through community-based bystander training? Yeah, if the bystanders beat the fuck out of someone who's attacking somebody else, that would be great bystander training. They could send them to the MMA gym, you know, put them in an arm bar, smack them in the face a few times. Stop doing that bullshit. That would be the best community-based bystander training, but I don't think that's what he means. Anyway. And then the other one, they'll go back all the way to Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof's the other one, which Is anyone, okay, let me ask you something. A lot of you are right-leaning or on the right. Is there anybody in this, that you, anyone you know of? Is there anyone that you know of on the right who supports or supported Dylan Roof? Because I know everyone I can think of who's like, Dylan Roof, fuck that guy. He went out and murdered people in a church. Fuck that guy. But they claim that the left is like, oh, he was a right-wing extremist. Nah, he's a fucking asshole. Fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck Dylan Roof. Nobody gives a shit about Dylan Roof. Nobody claims him. Nobody wants him. He's an asshole. Okay? He's a little punk bitch asshole who killed a bunch of people in a church. Stand by. The program will begin soon. Reverend Robin Bartlett of First Church of Sterling, Massachusetts, uses John 1:14 in the Bible to justify why she brings her 11-year-old son to drag shows. This is what we're getting in the Rainbow Church. The Rainbow Church aren't exactly hiding it. That's true. The Word became flesh and lived among us, and my body, your body, their bodies are home for the living God. That is why I take my 11-year-old boy to drag shows in the summer with my friend and fellow church leaders, Kate, and her 11-year-old boy. Especially if you're a man, bodies can be celebrated and played with. That's her message. What the fuck? California wants to let someone that is not related to your child remove her from school, him or her, enroll her in any other school in the state, authorize any medical treatment, including mental health services and drugs, without the parent's notice and knowledge or consent. Can you see what that might be a problem? This is not fear-mongering. I'm not being hyperbolic, she warned. These are unintended consequences, and it is terrifying. They are unconscionable. They're unavoidable. So that's one really bad California law that they're coming with. I can't believe. I'm just dumbfounded that they're doing it. Now this is interesting. That new mayor candidate, the leading Democratic mayor candidate for New York City mayor, Damme, wants cops to stop responding to attacks on Jews. And by the way, Jews in the New York City are victims of the majority of hate crimes. Not a plurality, but the majority of hate crimes against people in New York are against Jewish people. And especially religious hate crimes. Anyway, 345 hate crimes in New York City last year, more than all other minority groups combined, according to New York Police Department data. Anti-Jewish crimes accounted for 54% of the 641 total hate crimes reported to police in the city in 2024. Since the beginning of the year, 60% of the 123 reported hate crimes have targeted Jews, according to the New York Police Department. Well, Zohran Mamdani, the radical Islamist and leftist terror supporter, has proposed that the New York Police Department not respond to hate crimes, instead that they be handled by social workers. Either this shifts resources away from responding to attacks on Jews and moves away from having law enforcement deal with those attacks, and instead has his political leftist allies deal with them by burying them. Every day on my show, if I put something on the screen, or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawgKnight.
Well. It's Monday on the Morning Night Live, and I'm here very late. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the PDawgKnight Channel, where on this day in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue or something like that. Anyway, it's Columbus Day, and I'm cool with Columbus Day. I mean, I know that some people are trying to change it to Indigenous Peoples Day or whatever, just to be a thorn in the side of those who celebrate the fact that the Western world expanded in 1492 with the arrival of Columbus on some island near Jamaica. We celebrate that just because it's an expansion of the world, and that's, we're the Western world. So, why not celebrate it? It's, a lot of the claims about Columbus are fake. Oh, he was trying to find India. Well, yeah, wasn't trying to find India because India didn't exist. It's not why the Indians are called Indians. It's because he called them something, Indios, whatever, people of God. And there was no India then. But anyway, I don't know why I brought that up. Share the stream. What the hell here? Share the stream and all that stuff. Anyway, hello. Let's get going because I'm late as hell. First in chat today is Midnight. Yeah! Way to go. Gets the bell. And actually a little horn there, whatever. Also, good morning, Avocados Diabli, who's always in the top 3, unless he's, taking a dump or something. Good morning, also, Green Badger Outdoors. What up, Mike Savage, Blarg, Blue-Eyed Scream, Resolute Germs in the house. Kelly Hans. Now that's a new name to me, or am I just not remembering because I'm old and stupid? Anyway, welcome. If anyone else is new here, say hi in the chat and I'll say hi back, and welcome to the show. Good morning also. Tyler F's in the house. Lua is in the chat today. And Ms. Wild Wolf's here. Good morning. AWOL, what up? Who else is here? I'm scrolling and I'm seeing Johnny Boomer Tech. Yeah, you're here. The Pope is here. Pope Tyrannus the Third. The Blessed Lich. With today's message of Hope, who says, blessing of the Most High, today it is cold, it is rainy, the cloud cover, the sun in a gloom, but this too is as beautiful as a bright sunny day, except the rain to appreciate the sunshine more. Yes, sometimes you gotta make lemonade out of them lemons, and I think that's what the Pope is saying there. Thank you, Pope Tyrannus III. Also, Gunfox61, the amazing administrator of the PDawgKnight Discord server. Also, Bookworm Attic, Attack Alpaca, Somnambule Nation. What up? Good morning. And that looks about everybody, just about everybody. We have a hijacking of the show in progress, though. Gunfox61, thank you for dropping a Hamilton in the tip jar. And you are now the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. Breaking news, U.S. defense. Well, let's find out what this means. Oh, goodness. Let's see what this is. Oh, what? Okay, this is a new Gunfox dropped this in the articles today. This is he's dropping Hamilton's left and right. It's a breaking news U.S. defense report. UH-60 Blackhawk cargo drone with clamshell nose breaks cover. What does that mean? Oh, this is a drone helicopter by the United States. Sikorsky has unveiled a new fully uncrewed version of the Blackhawk helicopter with a completely transformed front end that swaps out the cockpit for clamshell doors. Oh, depending on how it's configured, what has been dubbed the U-Hawk can move thousands of pounds of outsized cargo internally and slung underneath, deploy uncrewed ground vehicles, and fire dozens of launched effects like surveillance and reconnaissance drones, and loitering munitions. Now, I'm not sure if you can get a ticket for that, those munitions loitering, but who knows? Anyway, the U-Hawk demonstrator, converted from U.S. Army ULH-60L, is on display at the Association of the U.S. Army's main annual conference in Washington, D.C., which opened today, and which TWZ is in attendance, which TWZ is this I don't know, something, the War Zone? Is that what it stands for? It's a newsletter for, military types, okay? So anyway, here's, is this it? Does this have music? If it has music, I have to pause. Okay, I'm gonna silence this. Silence! I'm gonna silence this, but I want to check this out. This is the new copter from Sikorsky Innovations. Oh, they're painting it, getting ready to go. Reimagined. Let's see here. So this is a pilotless Black Hawk. Okay, so they're coming down. What's it doing? Oh, there's no pilot. It's just oh goodness gracious. That's a new drone. Fully automated with matrix technology. Interesting. It can deploy weapons, can deploy vehicles. Oh, snap. That looks pretty, that's wild. Well, the drone technology is going crazy. So there you go. Soldier operated from startup to shut down. Wow. Interesting. So there you go. From concept to reality in 10 months. Well, they need to, I get nervous when they build things too fast. So anyway, that's cool. All right, so that's some new business. Thank you, Gunfox, for that one. But not to be outdone, Gunfox has outdone itself with another Hamilton in the tip jar with another article. So he's successfully hijacking the show. We may never get to the real show. Who knows? I'm so late today. This one is, let's see, breaking news, war report. Okay, what war are we reporting on? This is an article from the BBC. And of course, we know that it's not that BBC. Joke never gets old. Hello, TC, what's up? Nice to see you here. Did I say I had AWOL? I think I did. And Green Badger Door, yeah, you were here earlier. Okay, got it. Anyway, oh, good Lord. Now, Trump has said he may be sending Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. This is according to the BBC. U.S. President Donald Trump is considering sending long-range Tomahawk cruise missiles to Ukraine. Asked by reporters on Air Force One on Sunday whether he would provide Kyiv with Tomahawks, Trump replied, "We'll see, I may." The missiles would be a new step of aggression in Ukraine's war with Russia, he said. The comments follow a phone call at the weekend between Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, who pushed for stronger military capabilities to launch counterattacks against Russia. Moscow has previously warned Washington against providing long-range missiles to Kyiv, saying it would cause a major escalation in the conflict and strain U.S.-Russia relations. Oh, because they're so freaking good right now. Look, hello, Attack Packer, by the way. That definitely would be an escalation. I'm curious, and is it going to cause Russia to get desperate? I don't know. Tomahawk missiles. Tomahawk missiles have a range of 2,500 kilometers, which is about 1,500 miles, which would put Moscow within reach of Ukraine. Well, didn't they do something in Moscow already? I thought they did. Anyway, Trump's attitude to Russia has hardened in recent months as he has become impatient with Vladimir Putin's lack of cooperation in reaching a ceasefire deal with Kyiv. I might tell the Russians that if the war's not settled, we may very well send Tomahawks. To Kyiv, we may not, but we may do it, he said. He said, do they, Russia, want Tomahawks going in their directions? I don't think so, the U.S. president added. So, yeah. Trump talks shit, and maybe we can back it up. And who knows who's going to be operating those missiles. But, yeah, that, Trump said, "Hey, we want this to end, and you guys are depleted. You're bringing in Koreans to, for meat, whatever, fodder on the battlefield because you're running out of troops and you're running out of munitions." I'm just curious, how that's going to work out. Anyway, so there you go. Thank you, Gunfox, for that one. But wait, there's more. Gunfox has one more, but before I read the next one, good morning to my other favorite Canadian, Unacceptable Views, and Selected Boys in the house. So there we go.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, it's Special Cat Acid from the honorable mention list of my favorite Canadians making a Monday appearance. Love to have you here. All right. Now, Gunbox has one more. What do you call it? Not kidnapping, hijacking of the show. I had to think about that. This one is, oh boy. I saw this morning on X. This news. This is also breaking. Well, it's from yesterday, but whatever. Afghan Taliban says Pakistani troops were killed in a retaliatory border attacks. The Taliban government has confirmed that it attacked Pakistani troops in multiple mountainous locations on the northern border. A Taliban spokesman said 58 Pakistani military personnel have been killed in what it called an act of retaliation. It claimed Pakistan had violated Afghan airspace and bombed a market inside its border on Thursday. Pakistan disputed that figure, saying 23 of its armed forces members had died and claiming that 200 Taliban and affiliated terrorists have been neutralized. So is this a propaganda war over there? Besides, when did the Pakistanis and Afghanistan Taliban guys start shooting off at each other? I don't know. Pakistan is okay, here to say that Pakistan's Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi said that the Afghan attacks were unprovoked and civilians were fired at, warning that his country forces would respond with a stone for every brick. Uh-oh. Are they going to have a 4 there too? Man, Pakistan can't, well, who do you root for in that one? I suppose Pakistan. Fuck the Taliban. I don't know. Islamabad has accused Kabul of harboring terrorists who target Pakistan on its soil, a claim the Taliban government rejected. So this is a war of words as much as putting people in the ground. So that's, well, again, who do you root for? You root for peace. That's what you root for. You don't want anyone dying, but I don't know. I'm not too, I don't know. These articles will be in the links today, as you know, because I drop everything in the links at the end of the show, or in the chat and in the description of this video /stream. All right, let's get into the regular show. What, Pakistan and Afghanistan have never had great relationship? No, they haven't. But I'm sure it's even worse with the Taliban in charge, because it's these honor cultures. What I mean by honor cultures is that eye for an eye cultures. And, Islam is kind of the ultimate honor culture, eye for an eye. And so it's just going to go back and forth. I don't know. It's going to be weird. Let's hope it doesn't spread all over that's not even the middle. That's kind of the edge of the East versus the Middle East. I don't know why they call the Middle East anyway. But anyway, that can't be good. That can't be good. Them starting to go, well, or maybe it could. Who knows? I don't know. I know that we have a better relationship with Pakistan than we do with Afghanistan. I don't know. My foreign affairs in that region of the world are poorly thought out. Let me thank a few people before I get into the rest of this show, though. Thanks to all the people sharing the stream. I started out here. Somnambul Nation obviously tweets out the show every day, and I appreciate that. And a little cheer up. It's Columbus Day. Green Badger Outdoors, thank you for replying to the show. Those who expect to reap the blessings of freedom must, like men, undergo the fatigues of supporting it. That's a quote from Thomas Paine. There's a wrestler. I don't know who that is. That Edge with the beard? Who's that? I don't even know who that is. Anyway, that's the Daily Wrestler reply to the post saying, let's go. By the way, if you haven't replied to my tweet up there at the top, you can click that link. Also, Miss Wild Wolf tweeting out the show. Appreciate it. Get a little like there. Oh, like the like and repost. And then, Oh boy, more pain. Let's find out why with our favorite teacher and content creator, Marty, aka PDawgKnight. Well, that is very kind. I am your favorite content creator. Oh man, I'm a little verklempt. Okay. Anyway, and obviously the little let's go retweets, plus people retweeting my tweet, Tyre Alexander, Ms. Wildwolf, Resolute Germ, and Somnambul Nation. Ms. Wildwolf, all with the little kitty in the car. Let's go. Cute as hell, as always. And then there's our Ric Flair daily woo from Tyre Alexander. Got a little Ric Flair every day, every show. And then, boy, a whole bunch of people talking. Thank you, Mike Savage with the Let Us Go. And TC tweeting out the show. So thanks everyone who does that. I like to recognize everybody, even if it gets a little long and tedious. So there you go. Gunfox, no Near East. Near East is Turkey, Syria. Middle East is Iran, Iraq, Saudi. Far East is Afghanistan, Pakistan, India. No. Far East is China, Philippines, Eastern Russia, and whatever else is over there. Japan. That's the Far East. Middle East is probably what you said there, but throw a little Pakistan and India. Okay, I don't know. Southeast Asia is... Oh, there's also Southeast Asia. See, there's so much Asia, you don't even know what to call it all. Anyway. All right. Today, ladies and gentlemen, today's holiday, obviously, is Columbus Day. Yeah! No, Indigenous Peoples Day was just a poke in the eye to the Americans. But even in Spain, today it's a holiday in Spain, too. The White House, I'm bringing Columbus Day back from the ashes, President Donald Trump. But there are still people also celebrating Indigenous People Day because they're pissed off that people would dare celebrate Columbus Day. So here's like this WB. I'm coming up with new terms all the time. This WB. Oh, here, guys, and I'm not going to tell you what it means. In the chat, when I say WB, what does that mean? See if you know what that means. This WB, Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. I think it's very important to get the day name right. It's not. It's Columbus Day because Native Americans are also here, and we are more than Columbus. Medieval white people, genocide and death, thousands of rich and uniquely American cultures that never went anywhere. Well, here's the problem. Native Americans are people who were natively born in America. How can you be a Native American if there was no America before we got here? Before, you know, the white brothers got here. Let's see. You're getting some we're getting some guesses on what I would say WB. Warner Brothers, no. Welcome back, no. White bitch, no. Close. Warner Brothers, no. White bitch, no. Weak boy, no. Wake beta, no. Beta. WB is Warner. No, none of the above. The kind of close with the white biatch one. That was close, but not quite. Anyway, happy Columbus Day, Italian Sons and Daughters of America Day. Our story, our culture, our pride. John Leguizamo is celebrating Indigenous People Day. Here's one, though. This is a meme. Happy Christopher Columbus Day. Sorry, but the human sacrifices will stop. White bastard, nope. White breast, nope. White brother, nope. Wicked balloons, nope. White bird, nope. Wishy bitchy, nope. Y'all are trying. Okay, I'm gonna tell you now. Give me a second. Oh, why? Oh, by the way, this BAMF with tomorrow coming. It's a great time to remind everyone that Leif Erikson arrived in North America 492 years before Columbus landed in the present-day Bahamas, and unlike Columbus, Erikson didn't murder and enslave the indigenous people he came across. Well, part of the problem is he didn't land in the Bahamas. He landed in Greenland, and up there, the north, in fact, made his way across Canada. And also, he didn't encounter any indigenous people that we know of. There's no record of him encountering indigenous people, so that's bullshit. Oh, 3-year Letterman, my favorite account. Today is Columbus Day, which means we need to recognize two great men born in the USA. Christopher Columbus invented America, and Ben Franklin is the man who perfected it during his presidency and made us the oldest and greatest country on earth. I love that account. If you don't name 5 things wrong with that statement, because it's on purpose, you're just not a great American. Okay. I'm going to tell you now because y'all are just having trouble. Hello, Evan S., by the way. It's whiny bitch. That's what it is. This whiny bitch is bitching about Columbus Day by saying Indigenous People Day. So if I say it's a WFB, no, it's a wombat breath. Whiny bitch. This whiny bitch, Brett Chapman. Anyway, here's a little ditty on Columbus Day. I'm taking too long on this, but I wanted to do this because this is important. This is an article in Front Page Magazine by Mark Tapson talking about the importance of Columbus Day, okay? And it's entitled Hating and Celebrating Columbus, okay? Hating and Celebrating Columbus. And referring to Donald Trump, I'm bringing Columbus Day back from the ashes, President Donald Trump declared on Truth Social back in April. The Democrats did everything possible to destroy Christopher Columbus, his reputation, and all of the Italians that love him so much. He noted at the time that Democrats tore down Columbus statues and put up nothing but woke, or even worse, nothing at all. Well, you'll be happy to know Christopher is going to make a major comeback, Trump continued. I hereby reinstating Columbus Day under the same rules, same dates, and locations as it has had for all of many decades before. True to his word, in a White House cabinet meeting last Thursday, Trump signed a proclamation honoring the Italian explorer who sailed the ocean blue in 1492. To paraphrase the poem, Trump announced to applause in the room, "We're back, Italians," referring to the progressive push to tarnish Columbus's legacy in reaching the New World, an achievement in which Italian Americans take great pride, as they should. Hello, K-Shell, what up? Columbus Day was established as a federal holiday in 1934, but in October 2021, then President Joe Biden issued the first ever presidential proclamation for Indigenous Peoples Day. By the way, do you know we have 2 Indigenous Peoples Days? That's kind of weird. To exist alongside it. Now, you may recall that the failed presidential candidate and possible upcoming Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris, the chameleon, expressed her support for efforts on the federal level to change the second Monday in October from Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day, like just getting rid of Columbus Day. She has consistently recognized Indigenous People Day, but not Columbus Day in official statements since 2021. In a speech to the National Conference of American Indians that year, she said, quote, "Since 1934, every October, the United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas. But that is not the whole story. Those explorers ushered in a wave of devastation for tribal nations, perpetuating violence, stealing land, and spreading disease. We must not shy away from the shameful past, and we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities today." Now, I'm reading an article here, so just when I do this, if anyone thinks this is disrespectful, I don't give a fuck. Blah, blah, blah. That's literally in the article. The unsubtle aim of this sort of neo-Marxist historical revisionism is the racist demonization of European explorers to the Americas and the subversion of pride in our country. Remember when Barack Obama dismissed American exceptionalism as no different from the British or Greeks believing in British or Greek exceptionalism, which that's not a thing. The bitter, jealous left has worked assiduously for half a century or more to perpetuate the hateful, corrosive narrative that the history of European colonialism throughout the New World is nothing but one long atrocity-punctuated narrative of genocide, exploitation, theft, and oppression begun by Columbus. For rejuvenating antidote to the narrative, I highly recommend Jeff Flynn Paul's 2023 book, Not Stolen: The Truth About European Colonialism in the New World, a must-have for anyone who wants to be prepared to defend the truth about our civilization. Easy for me to say. Again, the ideologically charged distortions and smears that predominate in our culture. It is a deeply researched book by a scholar who explicitly states that his intentions in writing it was not to be a cheerleader for Western civilization or to whitewash atrocities that actually happen in the New World, but to simply present the balanced, objective truth about very conscientious historical issues. For a deeper dive into that book, check out this guy's he interviewed Flynn. Anyway, there's a link to the I'll put a link to the interview and to the review of the book. But anyway, the book includes a chapter entitled Intrepid Explorer or Genocidal Maniac, the complex case of Christopher Columbus. In it, Flynn Paul begins by noting what a boogeyman the left has made of Columbus according to their narrative. Quote, Columbus embodies the European penchant for killing and enslaving non-white people wherever they are found, throwing the notion that he was also the founder of modern capitalism, the first imperialist, the first colonizer, the bringer of patriarchy to the New World, and the instigator of mass environmental destruction, and Columbus becomes nearly a perfect embodiment of everything hated by the left today. That's their perception. By the way, is it the truth? Well, he goes on to summarize the truth, but the good, both good and bad, of Columbus's character accomplishments, failures in the New World. To set the record straight and to humanize the monster which the left have constructed. It's worth quoting at length. So here we go. Columbus's accomplishments as a navigator and explorer are irrefutable and justly catapult him into the first rank of historical figures. For hundreds of years after Columbus, the map-making and geography he spurred acted as anchors for countless scientific advancements. It is no exaggeration to say that the European voyages of discovery remain foundational to all modern science and technology. Columbus was the first to bring the New World's peoples back into contact with the major civilizations of the Old World, and he is rightly remembered as a brash, colorful architect of modern globalism. He was also very much a man of his time and his culture. He marveled at the wonders of the New World and had some of the sensibilities of a Renaissance artist. He appreciated the physical form and intelligence of some of the Caribbean Indians he encountered. He had the capacity for religious fanaticism, but for most of his life, he was a religious opportunist who counseled moderation. He was greedy, to be sure, but like all good businessmen, he understood the need to play fair. In summary, Columbus was no saint. He was a self-aggrandizing entrepreneur and a bad administrator who allowed anarchy to break out where some other men might have kept order. This ended up causing thousands of deaths to set the stage for more. At the same time, Columbus was an extremely brave, skilled navigator and a visionary who set the stage for modernity by uniting the two halves of the planet Earth. The task of governing first contact between the Caribbean and European peoples was never going to be an easy one, and the fact that the New World's people proved so extremely susceptible to the Old World disease could have been predicted by none. They always blame him for bringing disease. So anyway, and then there's another, let's see. All of this explored in detail in this chapter, Not Stolen. Again, I urge you to go read it. But Flynn Paul notes that just as multiculturalist leftists demonize Columbus and other European explorers, they idealize the indigenous people and that condescending, soft bigotry that characterizes the left attitude toward people of color they claim for their own. They believe, the leftists believe, that if only indigenous institutions and mentalities had triumphed over a European one rather than the other way around, the world today would be a veritable utopia where all races and genders live in harmony with nature and one another, because that, in their idealized view, is what New World society was like before Columbus arrived, not human sacrifices and constant war and genocide of other tribes. Oh wait, that was my take on it. Hang on, let me see. Where does he go here? In the simplistic utopian worldview, which requires the left to admit the inconvenient truths and complexities that are always part of the human story, The wellspring of Western civilization is the oppression of natives. A more radical statement could hardly be made, and yet this is now what passes for mainstream historical opinion. Notice how this view of history is carefully crafted to lump together the hot-button issues of the modern left. The resulting worldview is a rabidly anti-white, anti-male, anti-European, that it challenges the idea of human progress itself. And that's the real reason Columbus is a lightning rod for left-wing hatred. He represents the principal pillars of Western civilization that they want to deconstruct and destroy: Christianity, capitalism, masculinity, and whiteness.
You're fucking a white male!
Now, as for the truth of Indigenous Peoples Day, another writer wrote, remember, the notion of indigenous is a Marxist myth used to browbeat civilized people into feeling like they have no right to exist because tribes of settlers and colonists who sacrifice children on pyramids and cut noses off women are considered to be indigenous because they did their settling and colonizing 1,000 years earlier. Oh, snap! Because none of them are indigenous. They all colonized the land coming across the Bering Strait. They colonized each other. They fought wars. They fought for land. They killed each other. Ask the Erie what they think of the indigenous people of the great lands that now are known as the United. Oh, wait, you can't ask any Erie because they're all dead. The Hurons and Iroquois genocided them. They're all dead. Anyway. Happy Columbus Day. There's only another paragraph and I don't have time. Thank you, TC, dropping a 6 spot in the tip jar on the board, who says, I would take a drunked Kamala Harris for America, baby. Okay, for some reason, TC, squirrel balls. For some reason, you pick a politician each time you're here to take one for the team. You know, Kamala Harris isn't ugly. I mean, you'd have to, but you'd have to. I'm sure the word salad that you'd have to listen to while you're, would be troubling. But she's not ugly. I mean, she's attractive. She's always been attractive. So at least it's not Dianne Feinstein. God damn. Thank you. Dropping some dollars in the tip jar. And also, Avocados Diablo says, with a 223 in the tip jar, fun food fact. Fun food fact. British people have a dish called faggots and peas. Faggots and peas. Okay, we may never even get to the rest of the show because I gotta look this up. Faggots and peas. Oh, good Lord. I'll just pick. They look like balls. Faggots and peas. They're meatballs. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. I was not, I don't know if I was ready for that or not. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. So anyway, I have the interview that he did and the stuff about Columbus in some links here. Oh, and there's another article here too that no, the New World is not stolen. Counting the radical assault on Western history is a good article too. I think I've read that one before. That was from a while back. Anyway, let's move on. Today is also the 250th anniversary of the United States Navy. Everyone wishing the Navy happy birthday. Yeah, baby. There you go. And that also includes U.S. Navy is trending because it's the 250th anniversary of the United States Navy. So salute a sailor today. Other holidays, on the holiday calendar, of course they put Indigenous Peoples Day. Well, like I said, there's 2 of them, and I'm going to choose not to do it on Columbus Day. They give them. Can they have their own holiday? You have to share a holiday with Columbus. I mean, why? That's almost rude to them. National Kick Butt Day. Never heard of that. Oh, what is this? This should be middle. Also, Treat Yourself Day. National Transfer Money to Your Son Day. Last week we had National Transfer Money to Your Daughter Day. Now it's National Transfer Money to Your Son Day. Okay. Mom. Hello, Mom. Did you hear that? National No Bra Day. Oh, well, we could celebrate that. International Day for Failure. Every failure is a learning experience, so it's not bad to failure. Columbus Day. Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day. You mean does that coincide with No Bra Day? That's weird. National Train Your Brain Day, Navy's Birthday, English Language Day, National Yorkshire Pudding Day, I almost said it wrong, World Thrombosis Day, Dashain Masordo Love, National M&M Day. What? Why isn't there any M&Ms in that picture? Oh, maybe they mean Marshall. No. International Day for Disaster Reduction. You're supposed to reduce disasters. Disasters are accidents. Or something, I don't get it. There's 2, and it's twice on here. There's another one, International Day for. Why are there 2 of them? And then International Disaster Day. So on one hand we want International Day for Disaster Reduction, but then we also is International Disaster Day. We're playing. It's like playing for both teams or something. Okay, enough of that. Enough of the holidays. Fuck. All right. Thanks, Trey. Oh, by the way. Friday we talked about the Nobel Peace Prize and Maria Corina Machado getting the Nobel Peace Prize. And remember how, like, on the internets, especially X, the app formerly known as Twitter, so many of I'll just say the anti-Trump people, it can be Democrats or leftists or never Trumps, whatever, all of them were celebrating that a Hispanic woman won the Nobel Peace Prize because then Donald Trump didn't win it, and he was, trying to, campaigning for it, whatnot, which he really wasn't even eligible. At least, let's put it this way: anything that Donald Trump may have done that would be considered for winning a Nobel Peace Prize happened after the nominations were closed. The nominations were closed January 31st. Now, granted, somebody nominated him in December of 2024, but it was a stupid thing. It was kind of like Barack Obama getting it in 2009, which, for stuff he did in 2008 when all he did was campaign and win an election. Didn't do anything. He just got it for no reason. But people were celebrating the fact that this Hispanic woman from Venezuela won the Nobel Peace Prize. Well, over the weekend, or even after my show and throughout the weekend, some things changed about their celebration. And many people on the left ended up being pissed that this woman won. Now, first of all, one of the things that she did is she dedicated her win of the Nobel Peace Prize to the Venezuelan people and to President Trump, which the lefties and the people who were celebrating earlier didn't really know how to handle that. And then also over the weekend, some people were beginning to be pissed about the fact that she was pro-Israel and she's pro-Trump, and she wanted Trump to help people, wanted Trump to come in and basically invade Venezuela. I mean, it's of sorts, okay? Trump is on her side, and Trump said some nice words about her over the weekend. So now a lot of people on the left are very angry with her. But there's people, like, for example, here's the fact that Donald Trump very publicly won a Nobel Peace Prize and didn't get it is enough to make today a good day. So that was an example of what people were saying when it first came out. But then she went on Fox News And I know this pissed him off that she would show up on Fox News, and she said this.
And they decided to dedicate it to President Trump because he deserves it. Because not only has he been involved in only a few months in solving 8 wars, but his actions have been decisive to have Venezuela now at a threshold of freedom after 26 years of tyranny that have destroyed the lives of millions of Venezuela, destabilized the region, and undermined the institutions in the United States, because having Venezuela as a safe haven of the enemies of the United States and using our territory and our resources to hurt the American people and American institutions is certainly a threat to the national security of the United States and the security of the hemisphere. But President Trump has been very clear, courageous in terms of dismantling this criminal structure. And on behalf of the Venezuelan people, I reaffirmed our gratitude and our commitment to this cause for the whole America. So I insist he deserves it.
Okay, so that got a few of them pissed off. And so now you're seeing things like this on the internet. Venezuelan politician who once asked Netanyahu to attack her own country wins the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, they're mad. They're mad now. They think Greta Thunberg should get it. So there's a whole bunch of people just, and I look on Facebook over the weekend, I saw a couple of my leftist relatives who are just very angry that she won, writing, there's long diatribes, against her. And so it's fascinating to watch how it went from joy to pain. So anyway, now apparently, that's from August 8th, President Donald Trump and his Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev and Armenian Prime Minister Pashinyan sign a peace and economic agreements with the White House. Okay, whatever. Anyway, thank you, Avocados Diabli, dropping another small bullet in the tip jar, 223, saying Trump almost said when asked about the Nobel Prize that since it was for 2024, he would have been running at the time and not in office, so he really wouldn't deserve it. But that little quote has been nowhere in the headlines. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Yeah, he knows it's for 2024, not 2025. Anyway, so that's, but watching the shift over the weekend and watching people just starting to write diatribes about her, it was quite the sight to see. I got to be honest with you. Oh, here's another one. I'll give you another example. Here's one. This someone named Ben Norton, Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado is a far-right coup plotter funded by the U.S. government. She strongly supports Israel and it commits genocide. It's not committing genocides against Palestinian people. Again, 60,000 to 70,000 people out of 6 million is not a genocide. Against Palestinian people, she vowed to privatize Venezuela's oil. She is at the center of Trump's neo-colonial war. So they're not happy. Barack Obama congratulated her, though. And, we laughed at how Time Magazine, Trump loses Nobel Peace Prize he shamelessly campaigned for. He couldn't win it this year. It's for things that happened in 2024. Here's another one. Medea Benjamin. Code Pink is having a fit over this one. Nobel Peace Prize for Maria Corina Machado. You mean the same far-right figure who cheered a coup, begged Netanyahu for help, and backed sanctions, starving her own people? If this is peace, then the word has lost all meaning. Well, apparently the Nobel Committee is just fine with it. So, but so many were celebrating no Nobel Peace Prize for Trump. Then they start to figure out who got it, and they're like, oh, shit. Oh, no. All right, let's move on. Okay. Got a question for you. And in fact, before I even show you this, I'm going to put a poll up. Here it is. Oh, not Q&A. I want a poll. Here we go. Do you know, you Oops, here we go. Do you know who Stuart Lee is? All right, I'm going to skip this. You're going to answer this poll before I tell you the story, because it's quite humorous. In other news, and the biggest news probably for most news networks in the U.S. and parts of the world, most of the parts of the world, the hostages have been released. After 738 days, the hostages in Gaza have been released. There's a lot of footage of families getting their loved ones back. There's only 20. It sucks. Only 20 of them, I think, are coming back alive. Someone here, Ram Braslavsky, before and after 738 days of Palestinian captivity, it turns out there was famine in Gaza, but the only people who experienced it were the Israeli hostages. Yeah, there's no famine in Gaza. The Hamas has been stealing all the aid. Hostage who appeared starved, emaciated, and harrowing images in captivity where he was forced to dig his own grave has been released alive back to Israel. Eviatar David is now safely back in Israel after 738 days in Gaza. Lots of stories of these people who are back. People celebrating this. I'm not going to go into it too deep because obviously I'm running out of time. But things trending because of it. All 20. Thank you, Trump. Chants ring out. Now named Freed Square in Tel Aviv as all 20 living hostages return home. Also, the Knesset, or God bless President Trump, is trending because a lot of people are saying God bless President Trump for aiding in this happening. I have some major problems with the whole deal, particularly how many Palestinian prisoners are being returned to Gaza. It's like 1,700. Many of them had life sentences for acts of terrorism. Many of them for causing murders in Israel. And they're giving them back. And granted, the prisoners are all pretty much warfighter types and terrorist types. I don't understand the logic behind that, but the other thing here, and the term Baruch Hashem is trending. Someone here says, here's one. What an amazing feeling to be able to remove this today. While it's a joyous day for those that will see loved ones back home alive, there are just as many mourning the loss of those that didn't. May each day be one step closer to peace. Baruch Hashem. And lots of people posting pictures of people returning. In Israel, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the nation Sunday night on the eve of the return of the remaining hostages to Israel, calling it an evening of tears and joy while warning that the threat to Israel's security is not over. Speaking from Jerusalem, Netanyahu opened with a direct appeal to Israelis, citizens of Israel. My brother and sister, he began, this is an emotional evening and an evening of tears, an evening of joy, because tomorrow children will return home to their border. And then he says, this is a Breitbart article, he cast the moment as one of profound national meaning, a moment that blends sorrow over the release of murderers and the joy over the returning hostages, and stressed that while some did not believe it would happen, our fighters believed, many among the people believed, and I believed. So Trump was in Israel. He's also heading to Egypt. So the Israeli parliament is trending. Trump said a year ago, the United States, oh God, I don't know why he's highlighting this part of it. Anyway, President Trump did receive a standing ovation in the Israeli parliament as the 20 living hostages are all released. There's lots of stuff about it. I just don't have time to go into it too much. Knesset, that's where the Israeli parliament meets. And Egypt is trending because Trump's going to Egypt next. And apparently some other world leaders are meeting in Egypt. Interesting, as I look at this, as I scroll down here, someone says the two biggest clowns in all of Europe arrive in Egypt. Now, who might that be? Would that be Macron and Starmer? Oh, yes, it is. It's Macron and Starmer. Let's just say the two biggest clowns in all of Europe arrive in Egypt. Two of the weakest, most feckless men who are overseeing the controlled demolition of their own countries and the suffering of their populations. They both end up jobless and with nothing. So yeah, some world leaders are going to be meeting in Egypt here soon. Someone's also saying that apparently Egypt's going to help facilitate some humanitarian aid. Say 100 trucks commissioned by the Egyptian Committee are transporting displaced Palestinians back to their homes in northern and central regions. Thank you, Egypt. That's people praising Egypt. Okay. Exposing the lies they told you about ancient Egypt. Okay, I don't care about that. But anyway, so that's what's happening next. Oh, I just saw this just so you could, for your viewing pleasure or not. Oh, let me go. Hold on. I got to go back. Let's see the poll here. Do you know who, what's his name again? I don't even know who the hell he was. I had never heard his name before. Stuart Lee. Did you know who Stuart Lee was? And 80% said no, which means 20% yet said yes. 20% of you knew who this was. So apparently British comedian Stuart Lee has boycotted U.S. shows amid Trump arrest fears. Now, if you don't understand the irony of this, you haven't been paying attention. Stuart Lee's a comedian, by the way. Thank you, Advocates Diablo, for editing that out. British comedian Stuart Lee announced in May 2025. Well, in May, why are we talking about it now? No one missed him. That's why. He announced this in May and nobody missed him. He announced that he would skip performances in the United States during Donald Trump's presidency, fearing arrest for his satirical critiques of conservatism and denial of access to his heart medication. Why would they deny access to his heart medication? That's stupid. He cited concerns over Trump's embrace of fascism and turned down a Chicago gig. The resurfaced comments in October on X elicited widespread American indifference, with many users expressing unfamiliarity with Lee's work and dismissing the boycott as irrelevant. Well, if I hadn't noticed since May, it is absolutely irrelevant because I'm always paying attention to what's happening in the world. And that one slipped through the cracks. Had no idea. Lots of pieces. Who is this guy? Who gives a shit? Who is he anyway? So for some reason, this is whatever. He'll not be performing in the United States under Donald Trump's presidency. Now, the blazing hot irony of that is, while some people, a few people are being sent back, deported for, or not to Britain necessarily, but deported for stirring up shit in around college campuses and stuff. We're not arresting people and jailing them for offending people. And he's in Brit, where they jail people for offending other people. They'll put you in jail for the word that you say that is offensive to somebody else. I'm so tempted to travel over there and just start stopping bobbies or police officers, whatever the fuck they call them anymore, and saying, hey, that fucker right there offended me. Go arrest him, please. Of course, they probably wouldn't do it for a guest. But anyway, I have no idea who the fuck this guy is and don't care. And why it came back up recently, I don't know. I have no idea. All right, I'm running out of time. I just want to show you this picture again because, you need to see it. Ilhan Omar posted this morning, maybe? When was this? It was a little while ago. Yeah, a couple hours ago this morning. Minneapolis deserves a champion for working people. This is our opportunity to build a city where every single resident can thrive. I can't wait to cast my ballot for my friend and colleague Omar Fattah as my first choice for mayor by November 4th, and I hope you will join me. Yeah, well, first of all, I can't vote in Minneapolis because I don't live in Minneapolis. Thank God. And Democrats aren't real hot on this guy. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a very large Somali population in Minneapolis. Not all of them are U.S. citizens, though. So I'm curious how that's going to work out. And also, but they do, but because there's so many Somalis there, the Minneapolis City Council and the current mayor, the little twerp dude, they do have the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day blaring out of mosque in Minneapolis. They changed the noise ordinance so they could have the Muslim call to prayer being blasted over loudspeakers all over Minneapolis. Sometimes as early as 4 a.m. So they're just thrilled. I'm sure they'd be thrilled to have Mr. Fattah as their mayor because it's just become Somaliland. So I just thought you'd like to see that little picture. And let's see. I was gonna go through this Allie Beth Stuckey thing. She went on that. What's that called? Jubilee, that channel where they'll have one person sitting in the middle, and then they'll have 20 people around them that all get to jump up and debate them or talk or whatever. And she did one over about abortion and transgenderism. So I'll put a link to the articles here. Allie Beth Stuckey debates 20 progressive Christians on abortion and transgenderism on the 12th of October, which is yesterday. She participated in a 2-hour Jubilee Surrounded series episode defending traditional biblical views against 20 progressive Christians. She argued that life begins at conception based on the scripture like Psalm 139, and that gender transitions contradict God's design in Genesis 1:27, while introducing her concept of toxic empathy to critique affirming such identities. The debate, viewed millions of times on YouTube, featured civil exchanges on scripture, interpretation, empathy, and culture issues within Christianity. Now, I've watched a couple of these clips, and she's actually very good. I grew up as a Christian, and I wouldn't say I was devout, but I have my beliefs. I think any argument that you make on either of those topics don't require religion, but since she's debating progressive Christians, it was fascinating to watch. So I highly recommend that you watch some of these clips or watch the whole thing on YouTube. It's easy to find, but I'll leave the links I'll have it in the links today. The whatever this is, the X page of that. So anyway, that's it for today. I was going to do more, but hey, we had a couple of great articles that Gunfox gave me, so that made the time special. I also always encourage you, the aggregator that I drop at the end of the chat, or the links from Ace of Spades HQ, the Morning Report with JJ Sefton. So many great articles, so many things that are informative. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, I highly recommend it. So there you go. All right. That's it. Let me knock these out and put this in the links, and we can get out of here. Here we go. Ding, ding. And you got copy and paste. Copy. There we go. Here are the links. I always do that. My typing fingers always have dyslexia. There's the links for today. I gotta go. You all have a wonderful day. I'll be back tomorrow. My name's PDawgKnight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.